We are certainly ready for a game number 3, though we certainly don't want to end it here. Seattle, do we want to see some more Dota? Here in the Cathedral in Seattle, we may just be witnessing the final game of the Grand Finals, but I'm sure a lot of us hope for so much more, and that all depends on GAIMIN Gladiators. I mean, they have been the ones to run the gauntlet through all of these majors. They were looking like the best team of the year until they ran into Team Spirit. Until Team Spirit ramped up in just the right time, shown up for championships, and they have only lost 2 games in this entire tournament, Avery. They're 43-7 in their last 50. This team is looking unstoppable. Is there anything GAIMIN Gladiators can do to halt this momentum, even just a little bit?
You have to play Dota. There's no way around it. You have to meet this team on their plane and give them a taste of their own medicine, because you came in with a plan, but everybody has a plan until Team Spirit punches you in the face. And right now you're laying on the ground trying to figure out what the hell just happened in the first 2 games. Your plan did not work. Whatever you thought it was going to happen in the games 1 and 2, it fell flat. So right now, Team Spirit are in control of this draft meta. They're in control of the series, and they're dictating the pace in these games. They're dictating the team fight. So you have to meet them there and beat them. You have to outplay them. You have to start winning these team fights, scaling into the late game. You are not going to run this team over, which means you got to find some more momentum going past that 30 or 40 minute mark. It's not been GAIMIN's MO this entire lower bracket run, but hey, you're in a dire situation at Grand Final. You don't have another chance here. You are at the total limit. So figure it out fast, make the adjustments, and get cranking. This is a draft that is heading in that direction, right? A lot more team fight, a lot more scaling presence. Yep. Spectre AA here designed to put Yatoro in a tough position. We've seen the AA be a counter to CK for a lot of this tournament in terms of limiting the lifesteal interactions. Of course, it can also have a huge impact versus the Dazzle as this game progresses into the late game. So I think these are much more even lineups in terms of what happens past the 40 or 50 minute mark. There's not some crazy inevitable scale outside of maybe Dazzle Spirit Breaker doing crazy Dazzle Spirit Breaker things, and Celery in trouble
in the bottom lane, and that is going to be your first blood. Collapse will claim it with a bash.
Of course, a little luck goes a long way. A classic Team Spirit strategy going back to their first TI victory in a career debut.
Courier pickoff as well. Look at that, Duraggio even like taking himself outside of the lane to block the hard camp, because this lane is already going a little bit awkward for them. The mid lane's not looking much better. We're 12-4 on Laurel over this melee. Range versus melee matchup, it's not a fun one. You should expect the Dazzle to win, but Laurel is already taking commanding lead. And then we've got your Toro, 11-2. Now the Brewmaster is keeping pace, but he's certainly not slowing down the carry of Team Spirit. So GAIMIN Gladiators got to be able to hold this momentum a little bit further here. Bit of damage onto Ace. They're turning it back around, but Tofu's here to be able to help him out. Nice shot to get the extra bit of damage on 2 heroes.
Yeah, double proc, win the war of attrition. I think these sidelines can go fine for GAIMIN over the course of the lanes. They don't look too terrifying to me. I think the Brew can fight back with the help of Morta. Just a very tough hero to trade into. That mid lane is what I'm worried about though, right? It's Dazzle versus melee. I mean, Pango has some escape mechanisms, but if you get some roam going through with the poison adding up, it can be deadly.
Every single time Celery wants to be able to stop that hard camp opportunity, he does risk getting gone on by Mira and Collapse. This time around, he's fine. The Shard inadvertently kind of helps him out as he's pushed underneath his tower.
Just try and get as many pulls off as you can in this lane. Boost the XP up for both heroes as they both really want and need it here. You're not going to be able to shut Collapse down, which, I mean, that's a worrying factor, right? A Spirit Breaker with absolute free farm, it's going to have a fast Midas, is what Collapse is going to have here. He's going to have his choice. And it'll be quite powerful going into that mid game. So you got to be able to strike back in these small skirmishes, get the ults up, particularly the Brewmaster Primal Split, the Rolling Thunder here, very powerful spells if you can get them fast. And of course, A Blast coming in on top of it with Vortex amping up all this magic damage, and put that mini haunt to use on the step.
Real quickly, want to give a shout out to our observers, our hardworking observers who have been keeping us through this entire tournament. Ace, maybe in some trouble here. Maposhka, he's trying to dodge all of these ghosts. He doesn't want to lead the calling. He'll take that extra bit of damage to try and risk it, but he does end up falling as a result. And now Ace, he'll have some helping in from Tofu. Beautiful dead shot to push him back in, and GAIMIN Gladiators, a very clutch fight there for them. Tofu and Ace get a big win in their off lane.
That's the strength of the Morta dual lane that they're looking for. This is why this hero's been a first pick for them for a lot of these series. They're very confident in what Tofu can do on it in the early game. And now he has some roam options. I don't think you can leave Ace in the 1-on-2, but if you can get some breathing room like this and look towards mid, maybe you can get some damage poke, help skew this lane back in Quinn's favor. Because he is still getting known. 31 and 10 on Laurel, almost doubling Quinn up here. He got the courier as well. Quinn with a slight misstep will hurt his regen fairing. That just means more pressure going to build up between Laurel and his melee foe. Just not much you can do against the poison touch here.
Yeah, this is looking like Quinn kind of needs one of his supports to die just to refill that bottle, and Celery may grant him that wish. He's going to get a double blood grenade before he goes, so this may be a fair trade-off if Durachu can claim his life, and he does manage to get it. It puts an early level into that Desolate, and it's just the added damage they need.
Honestly, I think Celery's okay with that. Solo XP for Durachu on a Spectre. He gets to collect all these creeps under the tower without any pressure. Pretty happy about that exchange with a very defensive-oriented lane where, what are you doing aggressively with AA Spectre? It's all about getting farm and XP down here.
And there's that TP rotation to fill out Quinn's bottle. And try and help with the 6-minute rune. We'll see if he's able to do so, but Team Spirit not going to worry about the runes here. Instead, they try and win this off-lane situation where Ace and Tofu were doing pretty well for themselves. They bring 3 heroes to the matter to bring down Ace if they can get him. Slowed down by the blood grenade. They only need a couple more hits. They've got more blood. Where that came from, apparently, gives them over that Lotus, and that's enough.
Evasion with the haze, enough for Ace to just walk off here.
I lied. They do care about that power rune because they brought Collapse to secure it. Not just that, but also the kill on Quinn.
That's just going to secure the double check for Laurel. He's going to walk all the way top and get himself a shield rune. Putting this matchup to good use, giving Quinn a taste of his own medicine here with the roam. Maybe not expected out of the offlaner, but that is a hell of a rotation from Collapse and gets a lot of momentum going into this Dazzle right now. And this is a pressure point you're going to have to respond to. And this is a hero that scales very hard in Dota right now. Pretty strong early game for Team Spirit. They're going to look to try and fight back, but Quinn with a nice rotation, just eyeing Yatoro up here all alone. Will get the hit back.
If you're just going to keep dying in your lane, you might as well rotate out of it, even if it means you're doing it pre-level 6. So, as you can see, anybody who shows up in the mid lane is going to be run over by the Dazzle, especially if you get the extra vision of like a tough snowball or the Spirit Breaker charge. You just can't get away from this poison touch hit. So,
no, especially with these wards behind the tower already. Deep observer for Team Spirit behind GAIMIN Tier 1. Collapse having a chuckle about that.
Yeah, that was all because Quinn tipped him before the charge even completed. Quinn knew what was coming. He could do nothing to stop it.
Well, could have picked a real hero.
It's always an option.
Just saying.
4-4, 7.5 minutes in. Did we trade off Wisdom Runes? Yeah.
Yes, that was the one upside of them going on mid. You guarantee the Wisdom Rune trade, which Celery's definitely happy about. Yeah. I mean, you're saying he's like happy to soak up XP here, but it is a weird position for an AA who rather just be pulling if nothing else is happening.
They'll leave Durachi alone in the bottom lane, but a really good use of the dagger will get him over that little cliff area, and Tofu can get some damage back in return. No threat of anybody dying, but a decent punish, and will allow Durachi to clean up some CS, but he is being pushed out of lane. Mira's not giving up on it just yet.
And Leposhka even rotating down here, potentially throwing that Inkswell into the Breaker. I mean, this is a combination we also saw when Breaker was hot that last patch. The Team Spirit were very comfortable playing. The Inkswell Breaker across the map, giving you the guaranteed setup. This is what the CK is designed to help facilitate. Push the lanes in with CK illusions, be a ghost on the map, and all of a sudden you get one pick off and your map just collapses, right? Well, on the flip side, GAIMIN trying to do something similar. If you can set anything up with a Primal Split or the Rolling Thunder, then suddenly Durachu can come in and clean house. And this is a smoke designed to find Yatoro, but nobody's home. Yatoro.
They juke him out with a Phantasm. He sent it back instead. Quinn and Ace will bite down on that, but it doesn't matter too much, that bait. They still get some pretty good damage onto the tower. One thing to note about that Inkswell combination with the Spirit Breaker. Oh, thought they were going to go on to Mira, but Mira's going through the portal. They don't have a stun to stop him. He gets the other side. Durachio pursues.
Dagger does hit him.
Yeah, he's pretty damn slow, and he's going to hit him with another dagger. Mira, he needs the help from the Spirit Breaker. He has a snowball to buy a moment. Collapse, pops his ultimate, immediately goes for the kill onto Tofu. See if they can trade things out here for the shard and the calling. That actually protects him there. Collapse doesn't want to trade 2 for 1, so he's going to go ahead and give up on that. They cannot afford to give any more kills to this Durachio Spectre.
Gonna rotate Laurel bottom. They really want to punish Durachio.
There it is.
Coming back.
The Inkswell charge in, chaining the stuns and adding up on the damage. Spirit Breaker got that 5% buff. The movement speed as damage got buffed up by 5%. that was enough to bring him back into the meta, but then that's even more if you add in this Inkswell movement speed buff.
It's a deadly combination for a reason. I like that rotation from Laurel, though. That's such a heads-up read there. You can just walk down the lane. There's no vision here. They probably had a read because Celery's been mid the whole time, right? It's going to limit where your observers are going to go. Just gets a really cheeky kill on the Spectre. Nice shard to buy some time.
Good driving by Quinn. Gets around that little speed bump in the way. Hopefully Duracho can finish him up, but not quite. No, Shalgrave comes in for Law. Perfect timing there. Quinn does manage to get some decent damage on Toro. And Ace here, he makes the difference. He makes it so Team Spirit can no longer fight bad. It's an overwhelming amount of team fight that he'll put to work to bring down Yutoro. And it looks like he's going to chase down Maposhka. Mira really trying for this one. He might just get himself killed in the process. Will it be good enough? Maposhka still dies. And sure enough, Mira, he's going to be in trouble as well. Good use of the shard, blocking him out, but he still falls. Cannot stop GAIMIN Gladiators as they bring all 5, learning from Team Spirit perhaps. The only way to beat these guys in a team fight is you got to bring everybody to the table.
And that's why I think this draft feels a lot better for them to play. They can connect the heroes a lot faster. The Spectre facilitates that at a tremendous rate. And then Ace is just on a hero where even if his lane phase wasn't spectacular, which it has been this game, that Primal Split into a fast Radiance is going to give them all the team fight they need. This CK does not have free engagements, where I felt like in the first 2 games, Yatoro's connections were uncountered, right?
Yeah.
He goes in with a Weaver, goes in with a Faceless Void, gets what he wants and gets out. This game, Yatoro finds himself in a pickle mid where he just can't escape, pays the price. An 0-3 start for Yatoro got up here. Perhaps one of the rougher early games we've seen from him the entire tournament. That is a very good position for GAIMIN to be in. It's going to shut down a lot of the pace.
Marl's going to have to pick up that little bit of slack, right?
Yes.
He's going to have to step in with this Dazzle, but the Dazzle, I feel like, isn't a hero you really want to utilize just yet. Feels like that Aghanim Scepter is such a key timing. You can't afford to delay that by getting into some risky engagements.
And this hero is like Tinker in some ways. Like his first item, kind of easy to get to. You're a powerhouse when you get it, but then you fall into a valley, and it's like the next 2 or 3 you have to get to before you really come online in the ultra late, and those team fights start to become impossible for the enemy. That is a period where GAIMIN can strike with this Radiance, which is going to be coming out fast on Ace this game. And just take the team fight to Team Spirit, which is where, again, you have to meet this team. You have to be willing to take the 5-on-5s and win them and translate it into objectives. You can't just go for the other first.
Smoke across the map. They failed to get the initiation on Collapse. We're going to try and join Quinn for the power rune. Quinn's going to need that help too. He silenced up the Poison Touch. The Inkswell's on top of him, but he does manage to get away with the Swashbuckle just in time. The charge is going to complete. Collapse, he's got his ultimate. He may not even need it though. The Poison Touch slowed him down so much. And Maposhka is getting a TP out the shot. Oh, it is so close, but it runs out. It doesn't get there in time. And now a snowball to the other side to meet Duracho, as it is now him who is surrounded by Team Spirit heroes. Too many to count.
And that is a Midas Chaos Knight coming in and cleaning up the enemy carry there. Yatoro gets some XP, a much better turnaround for him as opposed to the last River fight where they're still missing that tier 1. So maybe a smoke and connection that Quinn and the gang just didn't expect, considering, you know, they're missing that objective that went down in the previous fight.
Yep. But it seems like Team Spirit take advantage of that bit of an overlook from Quinn. And now Collapse, highest net worth in the game, but GAIMIN Gladiators don't want to slow down just yet. They still have that Rolling Thunder. Didn't use it in the last fight, so Tofu and Celery think to themselves that if they can get the right kind of initiation here with the Rolling Thunder, they can follow it up with the Ice Blast, but Yutoro, he's in the staircase. It's going to be very awkward. The Soulbind does actually latch onto the 2 of them as Spectre jumps into the mix as well. Please tell me they're going to hit him. Oh, they barely got it.
In the fountain, he will go down. It wasn't even the blast, it was like an urn tick or something that got him in the end. Post that grave. That was a nasty soulbind, something they're going to have to think about with Duracho haunting in. They won't find the big pick.
Ace is so close to his Radiance, he could not afford to get picked off here. So at the first sign of danger, he uses his Primal Split. Though you could see the Spirit Breakers pretty good answer to those Brewlings. No threat of dying here, but something to think about later into the game.
I mean, normally the Dispel and Tornado is a problem for this hero, but doesn't look like it so far. And like you said, Radiance 300 off for Ace. He just wants to get his big item and get the farm rate going. Still having a very good game on this Brewmaster.
Yeah, considering the Lone Druid game where he was so close to the Radiance for so long, I don't think he wants to risk that happening again.
And Radiance is an incredibly powerful item in this meta. It's better the faster you get it. In a lot of those games, Ace just didn't get it at a time where he could take the map or the fight's over with it. This is going to be a game where he has a very good chance to do that. As Yatoro still behind, right?
Yeah.
This is a double Midas lineup for Team Spirit. They have one on the CK, one on the Spirit Breaker, which, you know, has become the de facto build for the XP getting to the late game talents. It is going to slow the team fight presence down. I really feel like if Gaming can get a fight going in the next 2 to 3 minutes here, they're pretty favored, especially with Diffusal and Radiance coming out at the same time. This is a huge damage power spike. You want to get something going with it, and you want to get it going now.
They go for it. The Radiance is complete, though, on Ace, but they know the Primal Split is on cooldown.
Yeah, this is a beefy target to just go into, especially when you don't have the global ability to connect. I mean, how much does Collapse think he can chunk through here?
Tofu just left him alone. Tofu was needed to be able to disrupt this combination, but now Ace is left alone, speeds himself away. Somehow the Inkswell didn't go off in time, but Mapochka didn't pop that one. And Darachi was like, okay, now it's my opportunity. Hello, Mapochka. Oh, almost got him with a fear shot there on the left-hand side, but Mapochka still dies. Collapse still in trouble, has a charge, instead opts for the TP out, but that doesn't make it.
Calculations not on point here. Yeah, he could have just charged the other side of the map. Maybe he didn't have a good target, but there was a mid-wave. They will collect a 3x streak off him.
Such an important kill, too. GAIMIN Gladiators with the Ice Blast on top of Laurel. Now, Collapse and Laurel, who were very much needed to be able to buy Yatoro time, now they've both fallen.
And now you're invading enemy triangle. This is where Gaming want to strike. They want to strike hard on the map right now, gain a lot of the momentum in this game. They have the supports to follow up on the core initiations. They have a crap ton of damage in the tank as long as they can see heroes. And with Darachi able to join any of these goes, suddenly this map has collapsed pretty fast for Team Spirit. And Ags on the Dazzle try and stem some of this bleeding, but right now this crowd, they want to see a game 4. They want to see GAIMIN strike back in this game 3, and they are delivering.
Yeah, I'm not even convinced those are all GAIMIN Gladiators fans. They might just be Dota fans who want to be able to see more from a grand finals between these two teams, but it's still a long road ahead for GAIMIN Gladiators because they're only 2K net worth up. They've hit some timings, yes, but they still have to worry about the double hand of Midas. They have to play this clean. They need to be able to get good executions, but they can't afford to use any pickoffs. Good roll in from Quinn. From behind, though, trapping Team Spirit. Shot goes out, looking for more. The Dazzle was shown there. Quinn getting in front of him, blocks him out with a swashbuckle, slows him down with the inhibit from the diffuser plate, allows Darachi to do the damage. He pops a shallow grave. Laurel, he really wants to finish off Quinn. Will he get that kill? The poison touch. He's got a regen. A Lotus given over to him as well. Good plays from GAIMIN Gladiators. Give him the extra bit of regen he needs, and now he can pop the regeneration in his bottle for a full heal.
Max efficiency right now. All Team Spirit can do is cut some waves with their double Midas heroes and go late. Because right now it is all GAIMIN on the momentum chart, and a full Vessel was completed very fast here from Tofu. That even gives you more damage. Vessel plus A Blast is nasty in these team fights when you're throwing the vortexes down, particularly versus Dazzle, who wants to just heal through with the inverse waves and get that going.
Yeah, you've got Dazzle, you've got the Inkswell heal that, would have been a factor if it wasn't for all the anti-heal they have. And then also the Chaos Strike, that lifesteal the Chaos Knight is so dependent on.
And there is no downtime for this lineup.
Look at him, burned out of mana. They try and give him over a little bit, see if he can charge his way out of there, but he's silenced up by the calling, trapped on the corner. And then they use that Storm Panda to be able to catch more. Laurel's gonna die as well. The Dazzle getting no footing in this game.
Ace making his presence felt, and this was with a second item, Boots of Travel. So this isn't even some like early core item.
Looks like he didn't have a way back to the base, so he tried to skirt on through GAIMIN Gladiator side of the map, but he was spotted, and he will be brought down.
This Brew Spectre combination working wonders right now as Ace is 5-0 and 10. Completely unstoppable. And you can't bring the CK in to really help you here. The Brew is just great versus the hero with the Radiance Burn, the AoE miss. He has the evasion that Yatoro can't pierce. And not to mention his ult, you can go in, start messing up these CK illusions.
Yeah, with the Radiance and the Dispel, this Chaos Knight's gonna be...
So, what are your options? I mean, you have to just wait until Yatoro's ready to fight, I think. You have to split the map with the Breaker, and this is where GAIMIN can continue to try and pick you off, put the Vessel to use, put the Radiance to use. And of course, Darachi, he's on a hero that doesn't have to, farm up some crazy stacks, doesn't have to go in the fight first. He can just farm the defensive parts of the map. If nothing happens, he's still happy. I mean, you still got a Spectre. Drum for Tofu just to buff up the team fight even more here. Sporta is doing work, also having a perfect game so far. And the calling is not a spell that these Team Spirit heroes want to fight into. It's annoying for Mira going in with the snowball. It's annoying for Laurel trying to run in and grave people with low-level grave. This team fight is very obnoxious right now, and it's going to collect a free tier 2.
So, a tier 2 at 19 minutes for GAIMIN Gladiators. if they can actually take away that outpost, they've got a pretty good chokehold on the map. What they desperately need now is just not to slip up anywhere, not allow Team Spirit an opening. So they're building up this net worth lead. It may become insurmountable as long as Team Spirit doesn't pull anything sneaky here. The smoke up, it slips right past Team Spirit. They get the high ground ward, immediately spots Maposhka, and Dyrachyo recognizes that is the hero he wants to get first, and the dead shot bounces over to Yotaro and hit by the Rolling Thunder. He's trapped, caught, and there's nowhere to go from there. Too many disables on the side of GAIMIN Gladiators, and they have way too much damage. They need the BKBs on the side of Team Spirit, but they're not going to get them anytime soon.
He had it.
Oh, he had it.
Yeah, it was a BKB. He disassembled and bought. He just didn't want to pop it. He didn't have Phantasm. There's no turnaround there.
Yeah.
He will choose to save it for another day. That is the 5th death for Yotaro here, who is yet to make a single kill in this game.
Hey, there's the Dazzle play, though. 20 minutes on the dot. They're going to use the Couriers to use the Aghanim Shadow Wave. He could solo up that.
That's the better shard I think they were hoping for.
Oh, yeah.
Inkswell shard for Maposhka, going to be pretty damn nice here. Try and dispel these melee heroes when they go in. Still, I feel like if you're Team Spirit, you're trying to wrap this game out right now. And that is a big paradigm shift from games 1 and 2.
Yeah, how do you wrap, though, against a Spectre and, well, you got this Quinn. He is running around with a Pangolier. You're not going to be able to solo in a lane for very long. It only takes a few seconds for GAIMIN Gladiators to spot the opportunity and jump onto you. An Ice Blast not even needed. Tofu has the damage necessary to kill the support by himself.
And the really nice thing about what's happening right now for GAIMIN is this Spectre is doing an amazing job protecting their wards. One of the biggest things you have to combat when you play against Team Spirit is the vision advantage. They had it a lot in Game 1 with that Treant Protector. They abused it pretty damn well in Game 2. Here, it's Maposhka trying to get out, get vision for the team to de-ward these aggressive obs that are doing work for GAIMIN because they know they're there. They're getting taunted on. Yeah. But the cooldown's just so damn low by the time you're back up. By the time you run there to try and gain anything, they're ready to jump on you again. And yeah, I mean, there's always a little Spectre bias in the win probability, and I think that's fair to say. But this is the best GAIMIN has looked in this series by a large degree. They're continuing to build the momentum.
And he can continue to build the single target items since Ace is built the Radiance, so he can just focus on being able to take out a support in a second. He's going to build into an Orchid up next, so now if you're spotted anywhere on the map, Dyrachyo can guarantee that the Grimshoke dies or the Tusk dies or maybe even some of the cores. He's going to pop it here, looking for Mira. They just get the vision on him. They'll spot him now, and there it is. They jump immediately. Snowball tried to put to work, but it just means he's going to be dragged back in. He does manage to get a shard, but unfortunately, Dyrachyo doesn't care about your blocks there. The Ice Shards does nothing when he has free pathing.
Spirit just bleeding out right now. They have no answer to the Spectre on the map. Their supports are way too squishy. They don't have an early aura buy. There's no Beastmaster or anything to help protect the backline on the map or help them get lanes out. All three of these cores are just building for themselves, right? It's damage items into BKB. You have two Midases that are still trying to get the work done. Collapse will try and find a pickoff on Tofu, and this will combine with Maposhka, so they strike back a little bit on the map.
Much needed.
And finally, they're getting some deep vision out as well. You look at these dire obs. It took Maposhka a while, but these are some visions they can play around at least. Though, of course, the second you get spotted...
It's Maposhka somehow doesn't get spotted by Quinn there. And they have to charge back in. Are they really going to try this a second time? He's got an armor rune. It's so much shield he's got. Maposhka's just going to stay hidden here. The charge canceled by the Spirit Breaker.
Rolling Thunder very far away. He's just going to initiate from 3,000.
Yeah, because at any point in time, the Spectre can join him as soon as he gets that initiation, but they don't quite catch him. The Ice Blast is going to be stretched out. Yotaro may see an opportunity to turn this around. Yeah, he's going to go for Dyrachyo here with the Snowball. There's so many heroes. They dispel out the Phantasm, but Yotaro himself, he will bring down. He will use his own hand to take down the enemy carry. Now looks to finish up these Brewlings if possible. GAIMIN Gladiators trying so hard. The last one is going to die. Double kill for Yotaro, and they turn back for Celery. A blink away from Quinn. He cannot afford to get caught here, but he doesn't have a TP. If he gets spotted...
They scanned him. They know.
On the scan. Uh-oh. Quinn's gonna be in for a rude awakening in a second here. He just needs his blink up and he gets hit by the Dimjo. Swatch will go for the side, but they have the silence on him. The Ghost remains with Quinn. He tries to go for a roll-up play, but he's got nowhere to roll away to.
Those have TP back, but
Stuck in the corner, gets some good damage from Swashbuckle, but too many heroes.
really nice scan to finish up that fight, and I mean, a little overextension there under a tier 2 gives a really good fight to Yatoro. Ace dispelled a lot of the illusions, instantly dealt with some of the DPS, but Ink Swells, the shards, all these little spells adding up, and of course Dyrachyo going down first. That's a lot of the damage that's been working for you. Downside of this Orchid build, right? The pickoff game is where it's strong. The 5-on-5, this Orchid's not doing anything for you into the early BKBs here. Team Spirit strike back, and just like that, somehow Yatoro is top of the board with from 0-5 to highest net worth. This Midas and the Illusions are doing work on the map right now.
And remember, this was double Midas lineup plus a Dazzle, the hidden Tinker. This lineup is going to start ramping up pretty damn quickly if you give them the space to work with. And right now, they've got 3 cores farming in 3 different parts of the map after a successful team fight. GAIMIN Gladiators, they cannot afford any more slip-ups. They've got Roshan still to be taken here at 25 minutes in.
It's also time for Miposhka to deward. One of the problems they were facing earlier in this game, suddenly he can run around with his courier, place a bunch of sentries, make sure there's not the deep vision that GAIMIN were playing off of earlier. So now it shifts the onus back on to GAIMIN in terms of you got to make an aggressive smoke, get vision back on the map, and keep setting up these pickoff plays for Dyrachyo, who's the one maybe getting picked off here. Zator just walks in blind.
Get a 3-second stun, pull him back in, but the silence is doing a lot of work. Quinn tries to roll up, but collapses. The Ice Blast does manage to grab 2 of those cores, roll up, snowball onto Dyrachyo.
Yatoro in trouble.
Yatoro's in big time trouble. They give him the Shallow Grave.
Oh, what a shard.
BKB, but a beautiful shard blocking out some of these heroes. It's not enough. Yatoro still falls, and now with the toss up in the air, Laurel will come down to a hard reality. Crash down, he does have the BKB, and look at that heal. That Aghanim Scepter with so many units around him. It's so much heal. He is not going to die so easily. GAIMIN Gladiators thought they had an easy target. He will fight to the bitter end. He'll bring down Dyrachyo before he finally falls. Collapse stuck, though, in the silence. The buyback required from GAIMIN Gladiators because Laurel was too tough of a nut to crack.
That looked way closer than it should have been. These inverse heals are doing mad work at the end of the fight. Have to respect the burst that can come out from this Dazzle when that A Blast has been used earlier on, but still great team fight from GAIMIN. Started out with Yatoro just walking blind into their triangle, and they were ready for him. Shadowblade did not help him out in that type of fight, and that Ice Blast, it was a beauty from Celery. Landed on pretty much everybody, forces the disengage, and the calling silenced Mira on this jump, right? This is the problematic aspect of this support matchup. When you go in with the Tuskar, this AoE silence clips you. Your team fight's just a nightmare. Beautiful shards on the flip to block off the Pandas from Laurel. Another really heads-up play, but damn, the damage is already done at this point, and now it's just a matter of cleaning up, which sounds easier than it actually looked like, right?
All of those illusions and Brewlings play against GAIMIN Gladiators in the worst way. And in the end, Laurel Living does get Dyrachyo killed, so.
Have to think about clumping up on top of this Dazzle in the later portions of these fights, but I mean, luckily, that's all the Primal split, right? The second Ace comes out, he's still full. He's still got Manta Radiance. He's ready to party. He's going to slap some extra kills down for the full team wipe here. Just when this game was slipping up a little bit of momentum, GAIMIN strike back, get themselves a full 5-man wipe into the Roshan. We'll put an Aegis out on Quinn here, who's slowly getting towards that Ags. That team fight definitely helps. Still 500 off here, but that's going to be a large damage ramp as the Shadow Step comes out. Look,
Dyrachyo's trying to do this solo. It's a bit dangerous. Collapse, they're going to try and turn back around. They do have the Ice Blast that'll finish off here pretty easily. And Collapse, he's got to be careful of his damage by Yatoro. He comes in, swipes down Dyrachyo. But the rest of the team is now here from GAIMIN Gladiators looking for the catch, but Collapse has already rolled away. Ball taking out. Oh, the hook shot. It's not quite enough. They have no stuns. Collapse breaks free.
Straight through the man's heart. He did not care. He just walks it off. Can't really get much closer than that. And once more, Yatoro, he finds an angle in the fight, cleans up Dyrachyo, and gets the hell out. That is a full Silver Edge reveal done.
And now the Aegis is going to be taken away from Quinn.
The pickoff game is shifting, right?
Yes, it is. They're not respecting these Shadow Blades, not respecting the aggression, but a Eul's Scepter stalls him up. Collapse, Yatoro actually has BKB. They do catch the Ancient Apparition. He's going to die pretty damn quickly there. Roll up. The Brewling's going to work, though.
They need to
stalling out Yatoro. Now that his BKB is on cooldown, now their magic damage can really go to work, and they can slice and dice through that carry pretty damn quickly. Miposhka, obviously, he doesn't have much hope of living through this. So the fight does turn against them. Not the worst, though, for Team Spirit, I would say. Just purely the fact that they're continuing to keep things a little even.
And their other two cores are farming the map.
Yes.
And they've got to be happy with, like, you know, the next 10 minutes here. This is when the Dazzle and the Breaker are going to come online. They've recovered some of the lost net worth differential here. These heroes get very spooky around the 3rd to 4th item, and they're going to get them damn fast as Collapse is just farming up the map. But Yatoro's aggression used against him here. They'll get the return carry kill. That was a cocky move going up that hill and just taking the fight with his BKB. He can BKB TP there. Just opted. Blood for blood. Why not? We're in the arena.
I love that Duraccio still not slowing down. He may die every once in a while, but he says, you know, ultimately the end game is okay with me. We're still getting some good trade-offs and fights. I'm still going to try and limit your split push by going on him whenever he can.
Doesn't want to let him get away with a tier 2 for free.
BKB, they stick on top of him with the silence and the stuns. It's enough. Win. It's stunned up for so long. And now Tofu's going to be in some trouble as well. He pops his ultimate. That just kind of delays things a little bit, but there's no one coming to save him.
If you're getting multiple ink swells off in these fights, it's probably going to win you the engagement. And right now, you're just getting outnumbered at a tier 2. You overextended on. Courier will die as well. No Brewmaster ultimate for that type of fight. As strong as Ace is right now with a full AC completed on top of everything else, he does want this ult to take the long engagement, right? He's the most farmed hero in this game right now. If you're gaming, you have to play around what he wants to do, where he wants to take the fights, and what he can commit to. Otherwise, you're just creating an opening for Spirit to come in and pick you off. Yatoro once more looking for the initiation with 2 heroes dead. He will get scouted on an Ob Sentry.
This is something that started to happen in that game too, where they managed to get, like, it was that one pick off on Celery, right? Where it's like they used the Chronosphere, picked off Celery, and it was like, okay, Chrono for a 5 position, but then they kept that going. You're like, okay, it's 4 versus 5. Then they found another pick off and another pick off, and it just so quickly snowballed against them. GAIMIN Gladiators, you gotta beware. Team Spirit will keep this aggression on point if they think they have the advantage.
And another Tormentor swiftly dealt with from Laurel and the Courier brothers over here.
That'll just mean his Chaos Bolt is all the more deadly for some of these supports.
And we can see how Yatoro wants to take these fights, right? Create confusion with his ult going through on lanes, show up with a Silver Edge, get a pick off, maybe reset. He doesn't have to commit into the full 5-on-5 into the Brew and Pango, which could control him in that type of situation.
Oh, he got stuck! Oh no! Landed on a pebble there, and as a result, Maposhka gets a pretty free TP on out of there. The smoke that's ruined, a Rolling Thunder that's used for nothing.
Interesting little tree.
Tree's just powerful.
One of the primal forces in Dota.
First cliffs, then trees. Quinn's having a...
Yeah, Quinn's having a tough time with the terrain
He's
today.
fighting Team Spirit. He's fighting the
map. Yeah, happens to the best of us. Another pickoff that they will miss, which is time for the Midases to go to work, right?
Yep.
They have been cranking this whole time and climbing the charts. This game is a 1K net worth lead now at 32 minutes. Dead even. And everything depends on these team fights. Collapse just
They're
charging.
getting the right kind of initiation here. A charge that hits both supports. Quinn on the run here. They immediately jump after him. Laurel chasing after him with that charge to be able to slow him down. Yeah. He's not going anywhere. 3 dead on the side of GAIMIN Gladiators, and Team Spirit have changed this game. The narrative was supposed to be GAIMIN Gladiators controlling and seeing if they could end it, but Team Spirit have turned this all back around in the space of just this 5 to 7 minutes.
And this is the Spirit Breaker problem. What happens when you enter the mid game and this hero starts to take over the lanes, get mega farmed, and suddenly one charge, you're down half your HP. Inkswell just makes this combo even more oppressive. The only real answer is you just start the fight on your terms with the Primal Split going in with a Haunt and delete the supports. Create a situation where you have numbers advantage, and even when the charge comes through, you don't care because you have the longevity and Ace to deal with it. If you're just getting caught in the open like that, it's a death sentence. And right now, Collapse is just running the map, literally. He is getting 6-slotted very fast. Yep. And the question is, do you have good late game answers to the Spirit Breaker here if you're gaming? Outside of tossing him in the air, dispelling him before BKB. Not really, right? None of those traditional answers like a Shadow Demon or the Soulbind, which is on Team Spirit's side.
Yep. And that'll be a problem, especially if Collapse is able to use that charge to kill those Brewlings. That charge, that damage is pretty heavy. 31 to 22, 4,000 net worth lead for Team Spirit. as they've managed to turn this game around and continue to dodge attempts by GAIMIN Gladiators. You could see the window's been taken out of the GAIMIN Gladiator sale. Duracio's not playing with that same kind of fearless that he once was, where anytime a hero showed up, he would just instantly jump and see if he could get the kill.
Yeah, and the map has just gone dark.
Yeah.
Right? You have one defensive off of your GAIMIN, but those days of where you were picking people off on Spirit's side of the map have come and gone. You're now entering their portion of the game. You kind of have to get around this. You can go late here. Spectre plus the Brewmaster, especially with how much farm Ace has found in this game, are going to continue to scale pretty damn hard. And of course, you always have this option of like tossing the Dazzle in the fight with the Wind Panda and taking the fight that way.
Yep.
It's a pretty damn good option, a pretty good way to deal with Dazzle and a lot of the historic matchups between these two heroes. But you got to keep scaling on everybody. The Muerta and the AA scale is really important here for GAIMIN. If you can get a 4th core out of this Muerta, which, you know, Tofu has a full Lincolns. He's very farm. None of it is like direct Muerta damage, you know. I mean, he doesn't have like an Ags or Mjolnir or Silver Edge of his own, but can only expect so much. Still, it will deal a decent amount of damage. If you can lock heroes into calling post BKB, that's the dream. Little pump fake action.
Next fight coming up, all about Roshan. 10 seconds till that potential spawn time, and then we'll see when he's actually going to show up.
Also, Celery went back for this Ancient Apparition Blink, something we've seen develop in this meta. He is looking for that AA blast on the big cores. The Dazzle and the CK especially, that is who he wants to hit. Cannot get snowball dodged. You can't really just AA ult some random supports. It's not going to be good enough to win the fight. Need to connect this ult on a big target and collapse. He's just going to lead the charge with Bulldoze here. Not afraid of too much while both carries on the other side of the map.
Look at him just running in there.
This is a fight without Yatoro.
Oh, that ward somehow slips past detection. Oh, no, he's got it.
There's a Dispel.
Lincolns gets him with the Dispel on the Yule Scepter, but it is going to cost Celery his life. He does have a buyback. He's going to play for it. Quinn off the mark there with his Blink in, trying to hit some heroes, but they've already popped their BKBs and are resetting a little bit. Celery, he's going to try and walk back into this fight. He's got to be careful, though. He may get caught by Collapse. He spots him.
Found the A again.
Tower. Yeah, that Ancient Apparition's gone. No more Ice Blast for you to be able to use. Ace has to use his ultimate. He knew the Yatoro was gunning for him there, and he could have been chain stunned up. Now they back away. Primal Split being used. If they can get everybody out, it's a dream for Team Spirit. Collapse is making that momentum, though. Pushed back by the Void Panda. Now hit by the Orchid. If they can kill Collapse, that'd be great, but he has so many Dispels and so many heals. Mira jumping in, going for the back line. The Pango's been caught, and Yatoro, he destroys him so instantly. Now turns his damage onto Duraccio. Back by Collapse. A charge on through. Tofu, he just managed to get the force tap down to the low ground. Does get a dead shot onto Collapse, but he's still pretty damn healthy, and they can't turn this one around. It is all Team Spirit, and they will feast on the Brewmaster last.
Team fight decision making just off the charts here. I mean, the kiting dealing with the ult, they just make it look way too easy right now. And so many charges going through from Collapse. He is looking for the high five, and he will get it here.
That was